So I've been, oh my God. So, so, so what? Ah, all right. Yeah. Um, I've been planning, I've been planning to make this video for a while now, but I've just been putting it off, procrastinating, telling myself a million different reasons why I need to do a million other things before I make this video. But today I just told myself, you know what, let's just get it done. I've been planning this video for the past few days and it's a bit nerve-wracking, to be honest with you. And I'm making this video because in the past 6, 8 months, I've been working on building an online business, and showing up online is one of the hardest things sometimes because you have to be yourself. You have to get comfortable with showing up as your true self if you really want to connect with an audience that you can then work with. If you're selling a product or providing a service, it's not just about making viral content and getting a lot of views. It's more about connecting with people that you can then help transform their life with whatever you're offering. And in order to do that, you need to build a lot of trust with those people. And I, speaking for myself, I don't think that I've done enough to really put myself out there to show people, okay, this is who I am, and this is how I can help you with whatever problem that I'm trying to solve, and we can talk about that later. But I just wanted to make this video to make sure that people know that I'm a real person. I'm not just some kind of AI. Right now trust is at an all-time low on the internet. So videos like this become very important where you can humanize yourself and connect with other people, one too many. And I think that this video isn't about me trying to get views. It's about connecting with the people that do find my video or that do want to work with me, letting them know a bit about my journey and my story. Okay, so to start off, my name is Wayne and I live in Sydney, Australia. I came here when I was 19 in 2015 to study, and when I came I was studying audio. I stuffed up. Okay, so when I came to Australia, I was studying civil. Stuffed up again. Okay, when I came to Australia, I was studying telecommunications engineering. And I studied that for like about a year, but it didn't really feel like that was my thing. So I was like, you know what? Let me try something else, something different. And the best thing I could come up with at that time was, let me try civil engineering. Telecommunications was it was very technical, and I just at that time I just didn't feel connected to what I was studying. I was like, maybe let me try the other end. Civil engineering was, I got to be more outdoors, doing surveying and stuff like that. But Australia's hot in the summer, and I was imagining my life being outdoors, working outdoors like that. And I was like, man, is this really what I want to do? All this time, uh, my passion that I was working on, my hobby was music. I had been making music for quite a while from then. When I was doing civil engineering, that was 2017, but I'd been making music before when I came to Australia, and I grew up on a farm, so I had a lot of free time. This was in Zimbabwe, where I was born and raised before I moved to Australia. And on that farm, I had a lot of free time. So I learned how to make music, on my computer. I was really passionate about it. And what I actually wanted to do when I came to Australia was, okay, my my camera overheated and stopped recording. But where I left off was when I came to Australia, what I wanted to do was audio engineering. But you know how it is with family. I just couldn't justify how that was going to turn into, I guess, a real job. Because it was hard to kind of explain to my family that, okay, these are the opportunities that I can get from studying this thing. But nevertheless, I got to explore and try studying different things. But in 2019, I made the switch to actually studying audio engineering, and I ended up graduating in 2021. And that was a really fun experience. I got to be involved in somewhat. I got to be involved in the music scene, the music industry, and got to really explore if this thing that I was passionate about was the thing that I wanted to do with my life. Did I want to work within this industry? The unfortunate part was that most of my degree was spent during COVID. Like I was studying, doing assignments from home and stuff like that. But I got time to go on campus and be in the studio, record bands and mix, master. I got to learn all of those things and I really enjoyed it, even though a lot of the things I had already picked up and learned myself. But it got me to figure out if my heart was actually really in it, and if I could actually turn this into a career, you know. But the harsh reality was after I graduated, there were not that many opportunities for me to work in the industry. There's not a lot of studios, music studios in Australia that, you know, I could go and work as an audio engineer. A lot of audio engineers were freelancers, and I knew nothing about being a freelancer or going out there and trying to find work. Okay, because most of the from the time that I came to Australia until around 2022, I was working in the health industry. That's how I managed to pay rent, to pay my bills. I was working as a social educator slash support worker, where I was working with disabled people in Australia, and the shifts were like very flexible, so I could work around my uni timetable, adjust it when I needed to, and it kind of felt that fit the lifestyle that I was living then. But during COVID, I had to, in order to keep working, I had to take the jab. So I wasn't really happy about that because I felt like it was a bit of a forced situation where I had no choice. If I wanted to keep working, I had to take the jab. And from then I was like, damn, I never want my work to have that much uh, impact or influence on the state of my health and my decisions. I feel like I wanted to make that decision, but I feel like I had no choice. But yeah, so after I graduated from audio engineering, I started working in sales, selling audio equipment. I just came across the opportunity because my wife, I'd gotten married by then. My wife, she came across the store and she's like, oh, they've got all this cool music gear and all of this. And she's like, oh, you should, try working there. So I went there with her one day and then I got an interview on the spot. And the manager there was like, sell me this pen. And I was like, what? I knew nothing about sales, but working there from 2022 in February to November, I learned a lot about sales and how to actually communicate and talk to people and how to problem solve for people whilst you're trying to sell them something. And that was a great experience for me because I've always considered myself an introvert. I was like, I don't like talking to people. I like staying indoors and just working on my music stuff and stuff like that. So it got me to come out of my shell and be able to talk to people, fix a lot of things. For example, uh, even just projecting my voice, and being comfortable thinking on the spot and being very clear and concise with what you're saying. That was some of the best takeaways from working in that job, apart from the ability to sell to people. And when it comes to sales, it really is about listening to people and really hearing what they're saying rather than you just trying to push a solution onto them. So those are the things I'm very grateful from that experience. It just turned out that I stopped enjoying working there because the working conditions were not that great. Towards the end, new manager, just the fit wasn't right anymore. The energy was just off, and I didn't feel good about working there, so I made the decision to stop working there. And I started working with my father-in-law actually. After that, he has a construction company, and they do rendering. And then I was working with him, and yeah, it was tough work, but it's the only work I had at that time. Whilst I was exploring my options, I recently gotten married the same year in May, so yeah, I had to provide now for not just me, but my wife as well. And yeah, so I was working in construction, and then I found another job in audiovisual, but now I was doing installations. I was like, I've learned the sales. I want to learn more about the installation because I was thinking I studied this degree around audio engineering, and I want to work in this space, and I just need to find my place. Like, am I on the sales side? Am I on the installation side? So when I got this job installing AV, I was traveling around Sydney, in and out of traveling around in and out of Sydney, sorry, in New South Wales, and it was very early mornings, and I'm not a morning person. Also, I've told myself for most of my life, all right. But yeah, I kind of struggled to get into that routine of waking up like 5 a.m. just so I can get to the workplace. So anyway, so I kind of struggled waking up early in the morning. I've never been a morning person, so that was another mismatch in in lifestyle, with my work and the lifestyle that I wanted to live. I For the longest time I've always been like a night owl, staying up late, working on music or working on projects or whatever. And also the traveling, I just didn't like the traveling. I was traveling a lot, very long distances. Sometimes I would travel like for 4 hours to do 4 hours of work, come back home, and I'm like, what the hell? Most of my work is just traveling, and then I'm like, I don't feel like I'm doing anything that I didn't feel like I was learning. Yes, I was learning whilst doing the installations and stuff like that, but I didn't feel like my mind was engaged enough, and I'm the type of person that I like being engaged mentally. I don't mind physical work, but my mind just has to be engaged. I want to problem solve. I want to talk to people. Yeah, so after that, I ended up leaving that job after 3 months because I was like, nah, this is not for me. Then I went back to doing construction with my father-in-law. And whilst doing that in June in 2023, I a friend of mine called me and he was like, "Oh, I've got this mixing and mastering gig. We worked on this song. Do you want to help us?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" So I was kind of doing this freelancing thing in music, up until later on that year when it kind of turned into a full-time kind of gig. I was still contracting, but yeah, it kind of turned into a full thing, and I was working on this project, making a song, producing a song for a crypto project to promote the project. It was kind of like a marketing thing for the crypto project, and I did that for a while. It was paying the bills, and I was enjoying it. I was making music. I was working with a small team, two other guys, and now like I call these guys my friends, but we were working on turning this into a business. We wanted to work on music projects and video projects for artists, for brands, and we saw ourselves, turning this thing into growing it into a successful business. But a lot of things happened, and in 2023 in November and in May in 2024, one of those friends, and in 2024 in November, my friend was like, I've got this business and in 2024, my friend was like, I've got this business, and it's a retail business, and we've been struggling to get a website together. And because I'm technical, I had built a few websites before for myself and trying to help other people, but it was nothing crazy, right? It was just using Wix, Squarespace. And he was like, "Oh, how hard can it be to manage a website project? We'll get a full stack developer, and we just have to manage the project." And that's what we did in 2024. In June, I was working with that team, and then we were working on this website. It was pretty tough because I think from the start the platform wasn't the best, but we managed to migrate to Shopify by the end of 2024. And during that time, I picked up a lot of skills in web design and management because I was working with a full stack developer. I learned a lot about web development cycles, and I was doing a lot of research and implementing that research into an actual project. And I learned a lot about showing up online and trying to sell products online because we ended up migrating to a Shopify store at the start of the year. And from the start of the year up until now, I've that's been I've been contracting, and that's been the main thing that I've been working on. So I had great success working with the team there, and I got to wear a lot of hats and pick up a lot of skills as well that I really value now. I got to serve as a tech lead, and problem solve any technical issues that we had with the Shopify store and all the systems connected around it. I had to also be the go-to guy, I guess, when it came to solving any of the problems that we had with our digital infrastructure there. And that also include doing a little bit of web development, nothing crazy, but because I had done telecoms engineering, I learned to I learned the foundations, I guess, the foundations of coding there. And I also have been, practicing a bit of web design over the years. So I got to implement some things that I had learned over the years about web design and also refine my eye for web design. And it's during that time as well that I started thinking about the idea of starting my own web design agency and building websites. I got to come across a few no-code tools that I can use to, build websites like Framer and Webflow, and I enjoyed the process of coming up, conceptualizing, and creating web design projects. And I built my website as well, and I also worked on another website project for a cafe in Dubai. And during that time with Unique Whole Food, which is the retail business here in Australia, it's a local business, and I got to implement my customer support skills as well that I learned whilst working in sales and managing customer relations, and also working on marketing strategy. I was working very closely, and still am actually working very closely with their marketing team, trying to make sure that we can scale and grow their business online and in store. And I learned a lot about business development and business growth. I was reading a lot, watching a lot of YouTube videos, and I was problem solving. I had to learn and then implement strategies that I was coming across and putting together, and seeing how they actually contributed to the results for the business. And from the start of the year up until now, we've managed to, take over 2,000 orders, and I've managed to help them make more than 200 grand selling their product online. And this has been like a fast-paced, fast growth experience, like from the start of the year up until now. Like, we were barely making any sales. We're making, I don't know, zero, pretty much $0 at the start of the year up until now, making those 2,000 plus orders. And I'm being very conservative with the figures. And I also got to learn AI automation because we had 10,000 products on this website, still do. And the challenge was, how do you then put information about these products, like product descriptions and ingredients, because this is food retail, because it's an organic health food store. And I put together an AI automation that, looked for the product online, grabbed the ingredient information, and created a product description that was SEO optimized, and also had copy that would help sell the product as well, like persuasive copy. And yeah, I got to learn a lot of things during that time, and that's the time that I was also exploring AI automation, trying to package that into my web development, trying to create smart websites. And I was developing this on the side whilst working with this business, because I was contracting, and I felt like I needed to work on something that I can then get more clients, because I knew that this project might not be there forever. So I needed a plan B, and I got to learn a lot about entrepreneurship and contracting. I did get offered a full-time gig at some point, but then I realized, what I really want to do is build my own business and work around my own terms and create a lifestyle that works for me. I wanted the right work-life balance. Because I've just been grinding for years, in and out of things, and I wanted to focus on figuring out something that really works for me, and kind of defining that for myself. And for a while, I was like, "Oh, okay, I'm just gonna start building websites, and then offering automation and digital transformation stuff around that." But I slowly realized that, in 2025, websites, especially in Australia, are a bit hard to sell, because a lot of business here, you know, depend on word of mouth. That's still a very strong channel in Australia. Websites are, good, but most businesses are not solely relying on their website for leads. So they don't necessarily, or at least in the industries I was looking at, just like construction and stuff like that. They don't necessarily always rely on leads coming from the website, from a website. They do run Facebook ads, and their Google business profile as well really helps them out a lot. But I also realized, like, it's kind of hard to convince someone who doesn't feel like a website is like necessary for their business to run, to then sell them a website at a good, you know, at a good price. which doesn't put you uh, in in the negative when it comes to like, okay, how much time are you going to spend building the website and how much you're going to charge for it. You still need to be able to make a profit, and you're competing with people all around the world, because now, the internet has has made everything global, right? You have guys from India, from Asia, from Africa. Everyone's building websites and offering websites. So it's like websites have become this. They are still valuable, but it's hard to charge a certain amount. Okay, that will at least make you profitable as a business. I was like, okay, maybe that's not the thing. So what is the angle? And I then started thinking about focusing on solving uh, business problems and looking at the outcomes that people really want with their businesses, and working around that. I've been able to learn a lot of things about creating offers and showing up online, having a strategy to sell products online, how to actually use organic channels on social media to sell your products or services online, which is now my current focus. Yeah, so that has been like the summary of like me up until now. It's been comprehensive, and it's like it's a lot to get through, and I was just been trying to package everything so that this video is not too long. But my current focus right now is to actually work with entrepreneurs, founders, uh, creators, and people who want to do more with their life than just work, let's say, corporate 9 to 5, and who have built up skills, and then they want to package those skills into a coaching service or digital products, and then sell those products online, and then use organic channels on social media to sell those products and reach their ideal clients. Right now, if you want to start a business, you've kind of got those two choices of running ads, which is very, very expensive right now to actually get the results that you need, because the paid marketing scene is very competitive right now, and it's only going to get worse. Ads are going to just become are just going to keep getting more and more expensive to run, and you might not even get the results that you want, and the alternative is creating a personal brand and showing up online and connecting with people and creating an organic channel to actually sell your products or services online by connecting with people, by talking to camera, like what I'm doing now. This is something I'm learning how to do, and I've learned the back end stuff, how to, build a service that can sell online. Now I'm trying to package that with social media marketing, and content creation to then create a business, a full business that I can then use to help other people sell their products and services online, which is the purpose of me making this video, so I can put myself out there and let you know, and say hi, you know, say, and also, I guess, oh, I'm getting flustered because it's been a long video. Okay, probably gonna shorten it, but yeah. So I'm just this is the start of me showing up, on video, on camera, just trying to show up as myself. I made a video before, I uploaded it, but it just didn't feel. I was talking about AI automation for business and the things that I've learned there, but it was a bit of a challenge because I really didn't connect to the subject as much as I wanted to on camera. But I think from here on, I want to talk more about the challenges that I'm solving, the problems I'm solving, and how I'm gonna grow my business online, and how I'm gonna help other people do the same. And yeah, if you feel somewhat inspired, or if you relate to my journey, leave a comment, tell me more about yourself, and I'll respond. uh, and I'm looking forward to making more content and more videos, telling you guys, telling you guys how things are going, some kind of behind the scenes content, and also putting out videos that actually help people be able to build the businesses that they uh, want online, and building a business that fits around your lifestyle by leveraging the skills that you would have, you have, and packaging that into a full online service. I've titled myself a digital service designer, because that's what I'm really doing, is designing a digital service for people where they can where they can have a platform to sell their products or their coaching, leverage social media to actually make money online. If you are interested in any of the things I just mentioned just now, follow along, and I'll see you next time. Bye. One more thing I forgot to mention. If you want to have a conversation with me or want to discuss any of this stuff, there'll be a link in bio to book a time with me and we can have a chat. All right, see you on the next one.